Morning. One of my very favorite times of day on Turtle Island. Imagine, if you will, awakening to soft tropical breezes, rustling palm leaves, and the rhythmic sound of waves washing over the white sand beach just outside your door, and the flower-fragranted smell of fresh sunshine air. And then, faintly, the aroma of banana pancakes, and omelets, lobster omelets. Have you ever had lobster omelets made with quail eggs? I think I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Jim Bosley, Goodwill Ambassador, and your guide on this home video introduction to Richard Evanson's Turtle Island, the real Blue Lagoon and Fantasy Island. Our journey will take us some 3,000 miles southwest of Hawaii via Continental Pacific Airlines to Fiji in the South Pacific. Now, from the international airport in Nandi, right here on the far west side of Viti Levu, the Big Island, you'll fly 25 minutes north on Turtle Air Seaplane, where you'll glide gently onto the Blue Lagoon of Turtle Island. This, by the way, is the only privately owned island in the Isawa chain, and this is Turtle Island. 500 acres of lush, unspoiled tropical splendor, 12 separate beautiful beaches, and never more than 12 couples at a time. Richard bought his Fantasy Island in 1972, where he lived pretty much as a hermit until 1979, when Columbia Pictures came along and said, you know, you've got the most perfect, the most beautiful island in the world, and we'd like to rent it to make a movie. Richard said, hey, why not? I've just been sitting around for the last 7 years listening to the coconuts grow. So for the next 4 months, Brooke Shields, Christopher Atkins, and the cast and crew from Hollywood moved in and made the movie The Blue Lagoon. I'd like to show you a few scenes featuring one of the movie's major stars, Turtle Island.
No more yes sir, no sir for penny button. No more breaking me back over a stinking stove.
Will Father be coming to fetch us?
Come on, let's look around. Look here, this ain't gonna hurt ya.
We don't want to go swimming. We don't have a bathing costume.
To hell with your bathing costume. You don't wear it when you have a bath, do you?
This isn't a bathtub. This is the ocean.
that could just as well be Karen, my wife, and I. We spent a very romantic day on this beach, but then that's another story. I first met Richard Evanson when he was booked as my guest on a morning TV talk show I do in Portland, Oregon. I said to Richard, tell me about your island, and for 5 minutes he did, and 5 months later, Karen and I were there. And it was one of those very rare everything and more experiences. Now, we've done our share of tropical traveling, but nothing had quite prepared us for this vacation paradise. And then 5 months after our first visit to Turtle Island, Richard once again appeared as a guest on my television show. He is Turtle Island's owner and a legend of sorts. I'm not kidding you. From what I hear from the people around the country and in Fiji, Richard Evanson. In 1972, you just flew over this island and said, boy, wouldn't I love to own that, right?
That's right, Jim. It was a fantasy come true. I think since I'd gone to University of Hawaii, many years before, I think it was 1955, I'd always fantasized about owning an island. You can't own an island in Hawaii. And so when I took this trip to the South Pacific and got to Fiji, and someone said, hey, I had an island for sale. And I said, oh, no, you're pulling my leg. And so we hopped in this plane, flew over the thing, and I'll take it. And I'm still there.
In 1979, Columbia Pictures shows up, says, we want to make a little movie here called Blue Lagoon, use your island, with Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins, and so you said, okay.
Yeah, it sounded like a great opportunity, Jim. Nice to have a film clip of your island at someone else's expense, and also it was kind of interesting that the original movie with Gene Simmons in 1948, which some people may remember, was also made on Turtle Island.
Turtle Island today. We want to take a look at it now. Karen and I were there our last trip, and I shot some home video and put about 4 minutes of it together, and we'd like you to see it now. This is Turtle Island, 500 acres.
Yeah, there we go, Jim. That's an aerial view, and you can see all the islands in the background. We're in a chain of islands. There are 60, and this is the only privately owned one. There's our lagoon. In fact, you and I think, are sitting up there on the top of the rock taking this shot, and that's our lagoon, the Blue Lagoon there, right there, in the showing on the picture now with some of our boats. There's a couple of our boats closer up. By the way, Jim, the viewers are probably interested. We've got 25 boats of all different types, sailboats,
paddle boats, everything you can think of there.
Oh, Jim, hey, look, here comes the plane that you came in on.
Turtle Airways.
Turtle Airways. They fly into Nandi International Airport from Hawaii, and then we pick them up here in the seaplane, Turtle Airways, and that's them coming in.
25 minutes from the main island over to Turtle.
Right.
This is where you live.
Yeah, those are the cottages, Jim. We have a maximum of 12 couples coming to the island any one time. They all live on the beach in these cottages here, and that's one there, and I think we're going to see the inside there. Yeah, there's the inside. You can see a nice facility over there, and we got refrigerators stocked with French champagne, and the roof there is actually the original kind of building they did in Fiji for thousands of years. Oh,
breakfast.
Here's breakfast coming up here. Yeah. Well, look at all the folks there, Jim, from Australia, quite a few there, and from America. That's where our main people come from.
We all have breakfast at the common table there. It's just 12 couples, and you get to know your neighbors very, very well. You make some very fast friends on this island because there's only 24 people.
Yeah, maximum 12 couples. Jim and probably people there are planning their picnic for the day. Go out one of those 12 private beaches we have, too.
12 beaches on this one 500-acre island. Richard says one beach for every couple.
That's right. That's why we can only have 12 couples, yeah. There's some nice coral there. Jacques Cousteau said we had some of the nicest stuff they'd ever seen. And there's one of our sailboats. Got 4 of those, Jim. They're sunfish. And for your yachtsmen. And, here we're having, hey, that's right. This is where we went on that barbecue. We have, as I said, 12 beaches, and every maybe once or twice a week we go out and have a fish barbecue like this.
And that's fresh fish, too, isn't it?
Well, it's, like you said, I'm probably only about 2 hours out of the sea.
This is your lunch, folks. On this particular day, that was it. That's red snapper, and there's all kinds of things, and all 3 meals a day, including you have some watermelon, all the fresh vegetables you want. All kinds of things, including lots of lobster, and it's all absolutely fresh. Look at that lobster.
Jimmy, every night our boys go out and get lobster, and so we really, feature that. And also clams and oysters and lots of crab, and quite a bit of wild game, too, on the island we've planted. And so we feature those things for our food. Although if someone has a special dietary requirement. And
Take care of that, too.
We can take care of that, too.
And then after lunch, it's out in one of the lagoons, and maybe it's a little paddle boarding or snorkeling, or in the case of my wife, she got a snorkel lesson here from Joe, and said the picture underneath the coral, underneath the sea, and the coral was absolutely beautiful. And a lot of people take underwater cameras. It is really a sight to behold.
Jim, there comes one of our excursion boats. That's a beautiful aluminum boat with outriggers on. They're just coming in from fishing. But we use that same boat for sightseeing, moonlight cruising, and a bit of sailing. And, hey, there you come on the horse that's carrying you. Yeah.
Ah, horseback riding and the whole lot. But all too soon, it's time for departure. And it is a most emotional time for all of us. I know it was for all the guests we saw. And that's your visit to Turtle Island. And the lays out the door, because when the lays return to the shore, that simply means you will return. Richard, we thank you very much.
Okay,
see you soon on the island, my
friend.
friend.
Jim, right out.
You know, Richard has created an atmosphere that is gently exciting. And once you're on Turtle Time, there are no more watches or clocks, no day-to-day concerns, no business to run, no household to maintain, no phone, no TV, no traffic, no fluctuating market, no high blood pressures. And because your vacation is prepaid, no economic decisions. You want a sailboat, you want snorkeling gear, you want to go deep sea fishing, you want a horse, just ask. There's nothing you can pay for on this island, not a postcard, not even a postage stamp. And no thought of who's buying who drinks or dinner or another bottle of French champagne. It's simply served and poured. No economic decisions. You know, we'd been on the island about 5 days when a new couple arrived. I think they were from the States. And the first thing he said was, I bet you all want to hear the latest news. Well, we didn't know whether to beat him senseless with his newspaper or drown him. So we compromised. We drowned the New York Times. Over the past few years, a lot of newspaper, magazine writers, and television film crews from around the world have been fascinated by Richard Evanson and his famous island. Just who is this millionaire American who cashed it all in, dropped out of the empire building game, and bought himself 500 acres in the middle of the South Pacific, who literally washed ashore on Turtle as a divorced, overweight alcoholic? Well, what they found was a very trim, fit, dry, happy man living out his fantasies, who runs his island early every morning. His drink is soda and lime, and maybe a bowl or two of kava. You want to try that when you're there. I'd like you to take a look now at 3 different treatments of Turtle Island produced by American television magazine shows, Eye on LA, PM Magazine, and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. First of all, I'd like to show you from Los Angeles, Eye on LA.
25 minutes by seaplane from Fiji's main island of Viti Levu is the home of the perfect blue lagoon, Turtle Island.
Chosen as one of the 300 best hotels in the world by the Bible of the hotel business, Harper's and Queen, Turtle is a South Pacific paradise that dreams are made of.
This is an exotic island resort that caters to your fantasies.
And a traditional feast of whole pork, trevally fish, and taro root from a Fijian logo is just the beginning.
No shops, no roads, no television, just first-class food and service.
And Richard Evanson, the man who found paradise and doesn't mind sharing it.
Welcome to Turtle Island, 500 acres of pure tropical paradise in the middle of the Fijian chain. It's the exclusive property of ex-Seattleite Richard Evanson.
Well, I built some little cottages on the beach, and we kind of, try to serve really good food and really good wine, and our nice Fijian people are the staff here. You combine all those, it provided a very idyllic spot for visitors to come to.
Paradise.
Fantastic. There's no place like it in the world.
Okay.
No place.
Did you see the coral trout down there? Right out. Beautiful.
The yellows into the palm trees, down to the white sand. blue water.
Look at the ones up on the top,
Yeah,
too.
magnificent.
There are only 12 bures in all, meaning that no more than 24 people would be sharing the island at any one time.
What we call Long Beach, and then it's Honeymoon Beach, Tangia, Devil's Beach, Patty's Beach,
How many beaches do you
Shell
have?
Beach, 12. 12 beaches here. We have a maximum of 12 couples, so one for every couple.
Following the hiking trails that crisscross over the island, you'll find it alive with undisturbed nature. Every sight you see appears as though it was put there in order to complete the perfect tropical picture. Named after a character in the Blue Lagoon, Patty's Island lies just off the coast of Turtle Island. It's an island that around here holds a special meaning all its own.
Like I've had many, many people tell me that we kind of live out their fantasies here. I mean,
The whole concept of it, of being the only people on an island that looks like it has just grown out of the water in the middle of the South Pacific is mind-boggling. It's one of the few places and the few, if not only time in your life, that you can be the only person somewhere. No one else around, no one can get to you. You can't get to anybody else. And it's just a very peaceful feeling of being all alone, really alone.
As easy as it is to be alone, it's just as easy to be with people. In sharing the same island, you also share your meals. You're eating outside 3 times a day, and the food is nothing less than gourmet. As can be expected in this tropical paradise, all arrivals and departures are done by seaplane. The time does come eventually when each guest must leave. Their vacation can only last so long. But there's one man on this island who will never leave. He made a decision 12 years ago that'll keep him here for the rest of his life.
And for Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous,
Privately owned by American millionaire Richard Evanson, tiny Turtle Island is one of the best-kept secrets of the rich and famous. A dozen couples at a time vacation on Evanson's 500-acre island, and each couple gets their own private beach. Guests live in their own Fijian hut called a bur. That looks more back to nature than it really is. A discreet, efficient staff of 40 cater to your every whim. There are no cars, no telephones, no television. Just some of the most awe-inspiring sights of nature the human eye will ever see.
But I got me an island I hide away to hide in when there's nowhere else to go.
The specialty about Turtle Island is that they want to create your own fantasy. Having seen the Blue Lagoon, I immediately wanted to get under the water. So we had them take us out in a boat to go snorkeling in the most beautiful place I had ever seen to snorkel. Incredible. It's so bright and colorful. The fish everywhere surrounding us. It was really, really something to see. It was very special.
Beneath the turquoise blue Pacific is an eye-opener. In warm, clear waters, you'll find exotic marine life for study or for lunch. The unhurried hideaway of Turtle Island is a must for anyone who's serious about an instant antidote to the real world. It was easy to include it in Runaway's pick of the best resort hideaways in the world.
Fiji has something magic, really, really magic. And I've been to most countries of the world, and there's got to be one place in the world where you have the world's most beautiful, friendly, warm, caring people. And it happens to be the Fijians. And you just can't help by being affected by them. I said, hey, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. And I think everyone dreams of having an island. I'm here now, at the end of the rainbow, so to speak. and I'm enjoying the pot of gold, quite frankly. That should be a big shock, but it just seems natural. The way these people live, I guess, this seems like the way you should live. And I found that when I go back to America now, I love to go back and shop. I love to shop because I walk into a shop and the guy says, "Hey, what would you like to buy?" And I say, "Everything." "What do you mean everything?" I said, "Well, I only get to town once a year." When someone arrives here, we try to learn a little bit about them before they come. So we carve their names in a little piece of wood and have it hanging above their little cottage when they come. You know, it makes them feel special. We're going to try to live out some of their fantasies for them. If they want a lunch in the jungle or dinner floating out here in the lagoon or go to your own island. We have a bunch of little islands around here that are uninhabited, and you can just take you to one of those, leave you there, pick you up later in the day. We have 40 staff here for only 12 couples. People ask me, say, "Hey, Richard, why do you only have 12 couples on this island?" I said, "Because, I only got 12 beaches." That tends to get their attention anyway. And but the main reason is I just don't want that many people running around because I'm here to enjoy myself, and I don't want so many people around. I can't develop a quality relationship with them. We're here to help people live out their fantasies of a South Pacific island paradise.
So vacationers not only leave their cares behind, they leave cash and credit cards too.
Take my hand and go there if you want to. Then I want to go to the side of heaven.
Each day at dusk, the king of the island presides over his court of 12 couples at a beach banquet where the guests gush over each experience on Fantasy Island. But for Evanson, it's just another day of work.
It's kind of a family and kind of the head of the family. It's nice. I really don't aspire to anything else. I just like what's going on, and it's a bit like the Fijians. I think one reason the Fijians are such neat people is because they're living right now. They're not living tomorrow. They're not living yesterday. They're living the moment. And that's kind of what this place does to you. It makes you start living now rather than for some other time.
Keeping in mind, this is amateur home movie stuff I've shot, I would like to share with you some of the pleasures Karen and I experienced on Turtle Island. And since I love mornings on Turtle, let's start there.
Another good morning.
Good morning, Hula.
Anything like egg scramble, oats, banana pancakes, pretzel, whatever. Anything in the world.
I'll have a lobster omelet. That
Lobster
sounds great.
omelet.
Yeah, that's great.
It's supposed to be together in 2 months.
I don't know where they went.
He just stands on the beach and orders. Come on, you guys, roll.
I want that.
Fiji vice captain. And Dave will be... I like this.
Today is another one of those very special days on Turtle Island, as we've all been invited to attend the wedding of two of the guests. The Turtle Island staff have made all the arrangements for many Fijian-style weddings, and with your choice of a Catholic priest or Methodist minister from neighboring island village missions, your wedding vows, new or renewed, can be the most special and romantic of all, complete with sunset reception. Outdoor tropical chapel, Fijian choir, beautiful ceremony, and lots of rice. And your own Turtle Island limo. And plenty of French champagne. And finally, the most beautiful wedding cake you've ever seen. As our day on Turtle ends, we toast a happy beginning to the bride and groom. A gorgeous new day breaks quietly over Turtle Island, and a few are heading out for South Pacific deep sea fishing.
Oh, yeah. That one right there. You got his picture?
Back on the beach, the morning pace begins with orange juice, fruit, sausages, pancakes, omelets, toast, hash brown.
This is my last breakfast. I'm gonna make it good.
Hash brown.
One hash brown. Because it's not that bad. It's the perfect time. Thank you.
Both sides? Whatever.
Two of our very favorite people, Ma and Daniel, making the flowered leis. Fish feeding time, because on Turtle, everybody eats, and eats, and eats, and eats. And speaking of feeding some fish, we're looking for some hungry ahi, the yellowfin tuna.
Whoa, what a beauty! Whoa! Yeah! Who's up next? Yeah! Yeah!
Whoa! This is Martin Livingston, Turtle Island manager and champion fish finder. One of the very nice people.
Oh, yeah, beauty. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, there you go. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beauty. Yeah, have a go. Oh, yeah. One to each person. Let's go home. Okay, barbecue time. You're right. Get the line, Captain.
Now that we're nearing the end of our trip to Paradise, Karen and I would like to thank some special friends. We would first of all like to thank our new friends from Australia, New Zealand, England, Canada, and the United States who had the starring roles in this Turtle Island home video. But most of all, thank you to our very good friend, Richard Evanson, the man who made his fantasy a reality. I think one of the nicest sentiments I ever heard about Turtle Island came from Brian, another new friend of ours from Australia.
When I'm not here and there are grey skies either inside my own mind or in the high vault of heaven, I'll think of one thing that will remind me about Turtle Island. And I'll say to myself, I will arise and go where the golden apples grow, and there beneath another sky, a tropic island anchored lies.
And now, speaking for your host, Richard Evanson, for his mom and dad and his office manager, Juanita, at Turtle Island International Headquarters in his parents' home, by the way, in Vancouver, Washington, USA, and for Martin and Mandy and the entire staff, and for Karen and me, it is our wish that we will one day meet on Turtle Island and do nothing more than listen to the coconuts grow. And now comes the sad part, the Fijian farewell song, Isale. We thank you for watching Vanaka.
Thank you for the wonderful.
For more information, you can talk to Richard's father, Cliff, or Juanita, who is office manager in Vancouver, Washington. Or you can write Turtle Island, Vancouver, Washington, USA.